How's it going, selectors, and welcome to another Wixoss video here on Wixoss Zone. As you can see here, I've got a deck. We're gonna do a deck tech on this deck. This is my mono red, no limit HIRANA center deck. This is the deck that I played on the channel in a gameplay video against Lucky Yuki. This deck is simple to play, pretty easy to build and to pilot, and just a ton of fun. And I really like these kind of strategies. It's just an aggro deck, right? We're just gonna go face. And I think if you are new to Wixoss and you're looking just for like an easy and pretty good deck to build, I think this is a really good starting point. Also, it's got HIRANA and she's really cute. So it's got that going for it as well. Before I get started, I want to mention my online store, redzonerogue.com. I do have some Wixoss themed sleeves and playmats over on the website. So if you would like to pick some up, definitely go over there. It supports me, obviously, and gets you some excellent cultured Wixoss themed stuff as well. I'm gonna have more coming up, by the way, and I think y'all are gonna love it. I have a summer themed art piece that I'm working on with this artist, actually. Her name is Hanchu, and she's an absolutely brilliant anime artist, and we are doing a summer piece, and it is gonna be spicy. Let's just say that. It's gonna be spicy for you cultured fans. And we're gonna make that into sleeves and a playmat. And we're gonna have more on the website throughout the year, including a holiday one, as well as maybe some other stuff coming up every now and then. So stay tuned for that, and let's get on with our deck tech. All right, so let's start talking about this deck. Before we get started, I didn't mention that I do have a promo code with the Haven Games for Wixoss singles, 10% off in the description down below. So if you wanna pick up any of these cards, you can do that at the Haven Games, get 10% off, and I really appreciate it. So they sponsor this channel. They send me, boxes and stuff to open for y'all. So really appreciate it. So without further ado, let's start talking about my mono red HIRANA no limit deck. We are running the full Christmas suite, and I figured that this would be a good way to do a Wixoss deck tech, talk about the L-rigs, the piece, and then all of the cards. So let's talk about our center L-rig. We obviously, like I said, we are running HIRANA as the center, so we have level 0 HIRANA, level 1 HIRANA, very cute, level 2 HIRANA, and then finally our level 3, as always. The level 1 and the level 2 don't really have any abilities, but the level 3 does, and she is quite good. So let's go over it in case you're a little bit new to Wixoss. So no limit, so you can only run her in a no limit deck, and it says attacking Signy on your field gain plus 2,000 power, which is great. We're gonna be aggressive, so that'll help us push over those really tall Signy, crush them out, and be able to just, well, I shouldn't say crush them because crush means something in this game. Just clear them out and get in for the win. Also, when she enters, you get to draw a card and enter charge 1, which is really good for us. We're just gonna be playing as much stuff as we can, just going through our deck as fast as we can, trying to kill our opponent. And so being able to enter charge and to draw a card is just really good. And her ability just helps us kill our opponent. It is a once per game effect of this L-rig gains auto. When this L-rig attacks, you may down 2 upped level 2 L-rig on your field. If you do, this L-rig deals damage to your opponent unless your opponent discards a card with guard until end of turn. So basically she hits twice. So when she attacks, she'll have that effect, and your opponent will have to either take a damage or discard a card with guard, and then she'll do her regular L-rig attack. So basically she can do double damage. Not double crush, it's a little bit different, but still really strong. So just helps you push in those last 2 points of damage to secure your victory. And that's what this deck is all about, securing your victory. Let's talk about Ray. I love Ray. She's awesome. So we have level 0 Ray, level 1 Ray, Lunar Blossom. So this is just a main phase, costs 0. Draw a card, then your opponent discards a card at random. There also is a just draw 2 cards, but I like forcing your opponent to discard a card. It lets us keep up the aggression by drawing a card and allowing us to keep our hand full, but also forcing our opponent to discard is pretty good, especially if you can do this Ray and Ray Empty Blade in the same turn. Ray Empty Blade also costs 1 to play. This one's draw 2 cards, and then your opponent discards 2 cards at random. So if you can do both of these in the same turn, you draw 3 cards, and your opponent discards 3 cards at random. So really sets them back. Really like these two. So, like I said, allows us to keep up the pressure while also attacking our opponent's hand as well. And then for Aquino, also really love Aquino. You know, Team No Limit. I like Team No Limit. They're great. So we have Aquino Rock. This is a 0 cost. It just says main phase, enter, return a level 2 or less Signy on your opponent's field to your hand. So basically it clears up a lane so we can get some damage in. It's exactly what we want to do. And then we have Aquino Bye Bye. Very similar, does exactly what we want to do. Cost 2, and it says return target Signy in your opponent's field to its owner's hand, and then we can pay an additional 2 to add a Signy with guard from our trash to our hand. So it clears up a lane for us, but also lets us get a guard back if we need it. And it costs a white and one of any to do so. It's gonna be hard for us to do that. We're mono red, but you know, we do have servants in the deck that can add resources of any color, so we could possibly do that. Mostly it's just to clear up a lane though. And yeah, that's our Elrig suite. Does exactly what we want to do. Let's talk about our piece cards, because they do similar things. So we have Glory Grow here. If you play Wixoss, you know Glory Grow. It's absolutely brutal. So this one is No Limit, and you have to have all your Elrigs on your field have to be No Limit members with level 1 or more, and then target level 3 Elrig on your field gains the following abilities until the end of turn. They get Double Crush, so if the Elrig deals damage to an opponent by attacking, crush 2 or more of your opponent's life cloth instead of 1, so combined with HIRANA's ability, we can actually deal 3 damage to our opponent in a single turn. And then also, your opponent cannot guard. So I've actually used this just so my opponent can't guard. I didn't really need the Double Crush. I just needed to deal the 1 damage with HIRANA, just to make it so they couldn't guard. Keep in mind that this just says they cannot guard, whereas this one specifically asks them to discard a card with guard. They can still discard the card with guard if you play Glory Go. They just can't use the guard effect for the normal attack. So they could prevent one of it, the effect, but they would not be able to, you know, actually guard. So great card, absolutely great. And then we have this card whose name I can never pronounce. It's Kiruri. I don't know. It's Kiruri. I don't know. It's Fist Pump. We'll call it Fist Pump. And it's very simple. It's a 0 cost piece card, main phase or attack phase. Draw a card and enter charge 1, which is great. Absolutely fantastic. And I have done this on my opponent's turn. I have done this on opponent's turn just to enter charge, just so I can activate Aquino Bye Bye, because this one is main phase or attack phase. So you can do this on your opponent's attack phase to bounce a Signy, which is great. Not only does it bounce the Signy, it clears up the lane for you to crack on back. So really, really good. Like I said, all of our cards kind of synergize and do what we want to do, and that is punch your opponent as hard as we can. All right, let's go over the main deck here. We are running the full suite of servants because you run this in every Wixoss deck. This is the one with guard, so we have full set of servants. We're also running Romail. This is a fantastic card. A lot of people run this in multicolor decks anyway. It's a level 1 Signy, 2000 attack, and enter. When it enters, you can pay a resource and then vanish a Signy on your opponent's field with power 3000 or less. Just really, really great for clearing the field, clearing a lane to get some damage through. Then we're running C2H2 Natural Element, and this is a card that I played to great effect in that gameplay video because it does exactly what I wanted it to do. It's a 1-drop, so you can have it early, just in case you need the early 1-drops. 3000 attack. It does have a life burst effect. You may pay a red and one of any. If you do, you can vanish a Signy on your opponent's field with power 12,000 or less. So I don't really like the ones that make you pay, but I do like this one because it's a 1-drop and it has a really good normal effect. So its normal effect is action for 3 resources. Put the Signy on your field into its owner's trash, then you get a vanish target Signy on your opponent's field with power 12,000 or less. So you can just play this, pay the resources, and then clear out a lane. So this is good early game to just, as a 1-drop. It's also good late game to clear lanes, and it's good as a life burst. I think this card is underrated and very good. It's very good. Next up we have Lancelot. You probably know Lancelot. Everyone plays with Lancelot. It's like a bigger Romail. Romail's big sister. So 2-drop, 5,000 attack, enter resource, vanish target Signy on your opponent's field with power 5,000 or less. It's really good at clearing lanes. Lancelot is a staple for Wixoss. Next up, we have Hera Crimson Evil, one of the big payoffs of playing mono red. So 2-drop, 5,000 attack. Whenever the Signy attacks, if all Signy on your field are red, you can pay 1 red. If you do, vanish target Signy on your opponent's field with power 5,000 or less. So it's like a repeatable Lancelot, sort of. And it's really good. It's really good at clearing out lanes. So yeah, this is my favorite 2-drop other than Lancelot. Lancelot obviously is fantastic, but this is your payoff for playing mono red. You get to play Hera, and Hera is really good. Next up, we have a whole bunch of 3-drops. So these are all of our level 3s, and yeah, this is where I would like to get some different options as Wixoss progresses, but I think I like where it is now. We're running the No Limit Signature level 3, Rose Quartz Natural Crystal Brilliance. I said that kind of weird. Natural Crystal Brilliance. This card is fantastic. So it's a 12,000 attack. Enter for 2 resources. You can vanish target Signy under your in your opponent's field with power 12,000 or less. Once again, you see a theme here. A lot of our dudes let us clear lanes so we can do damage. Whenever this Signy attacks, you may discard 2 cards. If you do, draw 2 cards. So you can filter some just crappy cards out of your hand. Maybe you have some of these level 1s that you don't need anymore. Mostly Romail late game. C2H, like I said, is still really good late game. So yeah, Rose Quartz, fantastic. Clears lanes, filters our hand, fantastic card. Next up, we're running Mars Crimson Angel Queen. I really like Mars. Mars is 12,000 and has a whole bunch of abilities. So it says, whenever the Signy vanishes a Signy on your opponent's field, put target card for your opponent's enter zone that doesn't share a color with your opponent's center Elrig into its owner's trash. So this punishes multicolor decks, which is great. Just kind of enter starves them just a little bit. It also says, enter, discard 3 cards or 3 red cards. So once again, this is a red payoff. So if you're playing all red, this is better for that. Discard 3 red cards from your hand. This Signy gains Assassin until end of turn. So once again, just a great way to push damage through. It does require you to discard 3 cards, but that's what all of this card draw shenanigans gets us. We can play our Mars, discard cards, and push damage. So yeah, really like Mars. No burst effects, as you can see. Now we're running Daji, Crimson Evil Queen. This is an interesting one. This is a new inclusion in the deck. I ran this over Mars. I ran this over Nobunaga. And where we are, we're still running Mars. So I ran this over Nobunaga. So this is a weird card. So 12,000 attack. When one of your life cloth is crushed, draw a card. And it also says, when a Signy on your field is put into the trash by a cost of your effect, enter charge 1. And it just says, enter, you may crush one of your own life cloth, which will let you draw a card. I really like this card because it forces your opponent to clear it. A lot of the times, your opponent won't attack because they don't want to give you the resources. But this one really forces your opponent to kill this before they can do any damage to you. Otherwise, every time one of your life cloth is crushed, you're going to draw cards. And if you're able to draw cards off this, it's a really big deal. Also, it has a life burst effect, a vanish target Signy on your opponent's field with power 8,000 or less, no cost. So I really like the life burst effect. I really like how it changes how your opponent has to play. And it has also these other weird effects, like when a Signy is put into your trash by cost of an effect, enter charge 1, which can come up here and there. So really like Daji. Interesting card, but I think it's good. This is one that I might swap, but I like it so far. I like weird cards like that. And then finally, for our level 3s, we have Tobiel Full Armed. This is another starter deck card. I think it's just really good. It says, whenever the Signy attacks, another target Signy on your field gains plus 5,000 power until end of turn. So once again, this is really good for pushing a Signy really strong so you can get over your opponent if they're trying to turtle up. This plus HIRANA, giving all of our dudes 2,000, gives us 7,000 to one of our guys. So let's some of these attack for close to 20,000, which is great. Also, it says, enter, discard 2 cards, draw 2 cards, which is really good. Being able to filter your hand. And then also has a burst effect, choose one, vanish, target up to Signy on your opponent's field, or draw a card. So I really like Tobiel. It's a really cheap card to get because it's a starter deck card. There's another one that I was a little iffy on, and I mostly had it for the burst effect, but I do like its other effect. I would like to eventually swap Daji and Tobiel for more lane clearers, so we can just go full, just absolutely full aggro, but Until then, we are running these two. And then finally, speaking of lane clearers, we have Deafening Inferno. So this is a 1-drop spell. This is the only spell in the deck. It does have Life Burst of vanishing and up to Signet on our opponent's field. And it also says vanish target Signet your opponent's field with 8,000 or less if you have 3 no limit Signet on your, or no limit Elrig on your field. Instead, vanish target Signet with 10,000 or less. So it's just a really good way to clear lanes so we can push damage. This is run in a lot of other decks outside of this mono red no limit deck, but yeah, if you play Wixoss, you've probably seen this card a lot. And there's a reason, it's really good. And there you have it, our mono red no limit HIRANA Center Wixoss deck. Like I said, if you'd like to see this deck played, I do have a gameplay video with Lucky Yuki with me piloting this deck. It's a lot of fun, pretty easy to pilot, and if you just want to smash face, you know, and good. I was gonna say unga bunga. I think this is a great way to start, and overall this deck is not too expensive to buy if you just want to buy the singles. Like I said, you can use my promo code WeCrossZone at Haven Games and get 10% off of all those singles. If you'd like to see me do more deck techs, please let me know in the comments down below, possibly maybe what sort of team you'd like me to feature next. I know we have Deus Ex Machina coming out soon, and I definitely want to do a DXM deck tech. We'll be also opening up the English version of that deck and doing a full review of it as well. Spoilers, it's probably going to be really awesome because the Japanese version was really awesome, and I don't think they're changing much. So I'm really stoked about that. But until then, thank you so much for watching. Definitely check out the Patreon, definitely check out Haven Games, and definitely stay tuned for more Wixoss. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time.